So my name is Maria and I will be your MC today. Welcome to our Family Toolkit webinar series. I hope that you could all get some great tips and tools for your couple yesterday. Today our topic will be the family. So before we get started, let's have a little icebreaker. But feel free to turn on your cameras. We're all parents. We all know what it's like. So I'm not expecting anyone to be made up and perfect right now. But it's nice to see each other. Okay, we have a Mentimeter, so get your phones ready and then I will share the screen. Let's see, here we go. So just to start off, how's your energy level today? So you can click on the link that was sent in the chat or use the QR code, or if you go to menti.com, you can use the little code there. So some about average so far. We're looking okay. All right. We're about average, about 3.3 right in the middle. Let's try the next question. So we're talking about family today. How many kids do you have? All right. We've got a few big families here. I myself have three. Okay, okay. Oh, the two kid families are coming in now. Oh, pretty evenly split, except for one, but yeah. Nice. Now here's the next question. How many hours of sleep do you get on average these days? We all know sleep patterns change after having kids, right? Less than 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours. And this also changes depending on how old your kid is and what phase they're in right now, how old your kids are. So far, it's even between less than 6 hours and 6 to 8 hours. Oh, and we've got more 6 to 8 hour people. All right. So what this tells me is that most of us have left the very small baby phase, right? That's typically when we get the least sleep, although there are some other phases as well where sleep drops. Okay, and let's try the next one. So this one you type in, what is the last kid-related item you've stepped on? Could be something they leave things on the floor, right? Sometimes we're not always there to catch everything or clean up everything right away. Put my own in as well. Books, tennis ball, magnet tiles, anger, food, butter. Butter's also food. Legos. Oh, Legos are painful. Those hurt. I've stepped on those before. Magnets from the fridge. Anyone else want to type in something? Are we good? Okay, last few seconds, and then we'll move on. What is your child's favorite meal or snack? What do they love to eat? Yogurt, cheese strings, rice cakes. And my youngest one loves yogurt. He could drink it all day if we let him. Uncooked noodles. Yeah. Dates, rice crackers. We're also seeing a variety of cultures here as well with the foods. Plain noodles, lots of fruit and vegetables. Good. Someone's got healthy kids. I wish my kids would eat more fruits and vegetables. Chicken nuggets, omelet with sausages. Oh, fresh paprika and nugget. Any last responses before we close this? Okay. Oh, scroll down. Banana smoothie, yum. Carrot. Give me a few more seconds. Anyone else wants to pipe in your child's favorite meal or snack? All right. Thank you for joining. I will close that. Oh, we had some in the chat as well. I didn't see those. We had food, the wraps, chips, ice cream, mango, cheese, milk, pizza, mochi, French fries. I believe pommes frites is French fries. All right. Well, thank you all for sharing. So, without further ado, I will introduce our main speaker for this evening. That is Amelia Lindemann. She was blessed in 2012 to Gabriel Lindemann. They have four kids, ranging from 4 to 12 years old. Amelia was born in the northwest of the USA. She lived in Korea for a time, and now she's in Germany. She worked for STF Europe for 2 years and then has been a full-time mom since 2013. She started working for School of Love about a year ago, and tonight she'll be talking about family. All right, I hand it over to you, Amelia.
Thanks, Maria. How are you guys all doing? Nice to kind of see you, some of you. I'd love to see more of you. And um, just a second. All right. So yeah, I'm going to talk about family. Yeah, if you were listening to how Maria introduced me, I'm actually not a specialist in anything. I'm just like um, just in it with you guys, just learning as I go. And so, yeah, just want to share what I've learned so far, and hopefully it can be helpful to you guys. And so, I want to just share my screen. I wasn't going to make slides, but then Andre's presentation was so great, so I thought, okay, I better better do that too. So, hopefully you can see this like I can. And yes, great. So, my family toolkit. Today we're talking about family. And so this is what I want to pass on to you guys. Tools for a thriving family. Regular family time, one-on-one quality time with no agenda. Be the example and be there to guide your child in sexuality. These are the four main things that I just want to pass on. If you get anything from this presentation, I hope one of these you can take away with you. All right, so regular family time. Um, Yeah. So one of those can be family traditions that we usually spend time together when we have a family tradition. And I think family tradition can be anything that really brings you together, that brings connection. Because I don't know how you guys feel about the word tradition or just tradition in general, but yeah, there might be some traditions you love, and there might be traditions that you find annoying or despise even. Um, but I think the main thing is that these traditions should really bring us together. Um, and yeah, try to involve each person in the family as much as possible. One thing that our family really loves is these offering tables for the birthday. If you see in this picture here, we always do that for our kids and make it a really big deal. And so our kids love that. And we try to, now that they're also bigger, we try to do it together and it's really fun. We also, we like Friday night pizza. And also my husband is born in the end of March. And so we try to always have a barbecue on that day, first barbecue of the year. And on my birthday, the tradition has become to go camping. Sometimes that will be in the garden because it might be a school night. But yeah, I was born in July, so usually the weather works out well for that. And yeah, and also Friday night pizza or just a walk around the block. These have become our family traditions. And yeah, the kids then have something to just look forward to spend time together, a sort of routine. And yeah, family meetings is also something that I want to share about. Just some sort of meeting that brings you together on a weekly basis, if possible. I know this is not easy. Um, I want to mention this because I read about it also in this book called Seven Gifts to Give Your Child by Myrna Lepre, a member from America. Stefan can share the link in the chat if you're interested. And yeah, she talked about family meetings. And in this book, she even gave a sort of format that suggested on how that can go, which starts with a sharing, and then you can have a discussion. Sorry, I made a typo there. It's supposed to be discussion. Um, and and then you have fun. I think that's also really important to end it with some fun, a game or go outside. Or once we did this family meeting and it did feel a bit stiff, but I really wanted it to become a great thing. And so at the end, I was like, okay, and now we're going to the cinema. And yeah, just to connect it as a really positive thing because I remember growing up, family meetings, they were much more of a negative thing for me because it was like, okay, there's an issue and we need to talk about it. And it was more of a just my parents talk and we listen and we need to be better. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a family meeting where everyone's involved, everyone gives input, everyone shares, and yeah, where you have fun together. And like I said, easier said than done. I know if one person in the family works full time or even two parents, it is hard to find time where you're all present together. And so, yeah, that's why I'm going to also be talking about a very simple but practical action step of scheduling. That's also really important. Um, Eat meals together. This was also in the book from Mirna that there is scientific proof that this is psychologically and educationally and health-wise beneficial for all of us. So yeah, eat those meals together, even if it's not every meal, at least one is very, very precious for our kids. So this regular family time really goes a long way. One-on-one time, um, yeah, I used to think one-on-one time, it's just such a brilliant idea. It's so great. And now I think it's just a must. Like you got to do it with each kid. So what I mean by one-on-one time is that you spend time one-on-one with each of your children. So that we call it in our family going on a date. So we take turns because, yeah, it's really hard to organize one child going on a date with both parents. Um, that's very rare. So it's usually one parent goes on a date with one child. And so I'm right now in rotation. I have to do two more kids, and then my husband will be next. Um, and yeah, what I've learned about this is just a time to be present together. No agenda. I used to think, oh, we're going to go on a date. Maybe it's the time where, I should have a deep conversation. Um, but no, it's really good to just let go of all that pressure. Those conversations might happen, but they also might not. The important thing is to just be present and enjoy the time together. Um, and this gives us a chance to really give love to our children intentionally and individually. Yeah. And so it's really good, even with young kids, to, especially if like a new sibling comes along, to really show extra attention to the sibling that was first in your life, so they don't feel a lack of love, because babies do demand a lot of attention. But to reassert them that, yeah, you love them, you love being with them. And this is already a really great foundation for your relationship later in life. If your kid feels like you love being with them, then they are more likely to open up to you. Yeah, and also, so as they get older, lots more things happen in their lives where, we're not present, we don't know about it. And so it is good if they have someone to share about with that they really trust, because, not everything is easy to take. And yeah, like we might ask our kids, how was school? And usually you get a really short answer, but maybe something did happen at school, or there might be some struggles in their lives, or even great things happening in their lives, but they just don't want to talk right now. So, but yeah, when you spend a bit more time together, then it really helps just to feel, yeah, more loose, more easy, like at ease in your heart. And so, yeah, I just feel like, yeah, then it's easier to talk. I mean, even ourselves, like if I spend time with a good friend, then I also feel more at ease to talk about deep things once we've spent some time together. And of course, just making memories together is always worthwhile. Just having a picture. This is a picture of my son and I. We went to see this movie, Arthur the Great. It was a really nice movie based on a true story. Um, yeah, it was really sweet. And be the example. I find this a really inspiring point. And what I mean by this is, yeah, we want the best for our kids. And so if we want the best for them, we should live this amazing life that we wish for them in our own lives because they will do what they see. They take, especially from us, they learn right away just by watching us. Yeah, my next point is monkey see, monkey do, because kids, they learn from us, from our actions, but also even the invisible things. If they see, like, they, if there's a sad situation, how do mom and dad process that? Or an embarrassing situation, how do mom and dad go about that? Um, and they take that all in. And of course, when they're older, they can decide more intentionally how they want to act, but especially when they're young, um, they don't even think like this. I looked up this expression, monkey see, monkey do, where it comes from, and it really actually means you copy without even thinking. And that's, I think, what young kids do is they just copy without even thinking. And if we're being a great example, then it's wonderful, right? I have here on the right-hand corner, yeah, unfortunately, if we're not setting the best example, then they also copy that. And here in Germany, they have always all these cigarettes. They always have pictures of lots of examples of what can happen if you keep smoking. And here it says, children from smokers often become smokers themselves. And yeah, because that's what they know. That's what they've seen from their own parents. Um, so that's one side of it. But I mean, I feel like we shouldn't think of this in a fearful way because it's actually, this parent-child relationship is something that is just, yeah, that's where God wants to dwell, right? God is our parent, and I feel like God, God's wish is simply to love through us. And the parent-child relationship is kind of like a clone relationship to our relationship with God. And yeah, so I find it actually really inspiring when we work on ourselves, when we pursue our dreams or, you know, make even small steps towards our goals, then our kids can benefit from that. Yeah. Yeah, I have this picture, me with a microphone. I've always been really scared of public speaking. And I used to get so nervous as a kid. And, you know, my husband and I, along with two other couples, have become pastors in Nuremberg. But I never wanted to give Sunday services because I just felt like I'm not good at it and I don't belong, like the mic doesn't belong in my hand. But yeah, I've been trying to change that and believe in myself. And the good thing is my kids can live that through me and with me as well. And my hope is that then, they will also feel more comfortable to pick up the mic themselves sooner in life. I also want to say invest in your couple life because that's an example for their future relationship. Their idea of what a marriage is comes from us. And so, yeah, we were talking today about marriage, and it's just so important to invest into your marriage and um, and treat your spouse, as someone said yesterday, like God. Your spouse is, yeah, God for you, like the other half of God. And so, yeah, to make really time for that in your life. Again, from this book, Seven Gifts to Give Your Child, Myrna, she mentioned couch time, which is, I don't know or think if I do it so much myself. I want to, I find the idea really good. it's so you just sit on the couch and talk to your spouse when your kids are around, and so they just are seeing you and your spouse have some casual give and take, a nice conversation. Um, and so it's just, yeah, that's also important just for your own kids' well-being, like, their life source, which is us parents, are doing well, that feels much more safe. Um, yeah. So, and also just, I mean, I'm gonna talk later about teaching our kids about sexuality and so on, but also teaching our kids about, relationships, romance, intimacy. I feel like it's always good to keep growing in our couple because we're also building up their idea of what is romance, what is a healthy relationship. I mean, there's a lot of competition out there with films, social media, and Hollywood, which is usually not healthy unless you're very, very choosy with what you consume. But yeah, if we parents can be good examples, they also live, um, they feel more convicted if they know, oh yeah, my parents are in a good place and, they feel good in the family. They know, okay, that's the kind of relationship that I want, not this like messy triangle that I see in this TV series. So yeah, and also heal whatever you can because yeah, I mean a lot of us, I mean no one comes from the like a perfect family. I don't think we all have some little broken pieces, and there's always some healing to do. And if we can heal that, then that's also healing for our child. Um, yeah, I just want to recommend this podcast I did with Philip Shanker, processing trauma as a parent. And he talks about trauma like there's big general trauma that everyone can categorize as trauma, but there are also many little things that we don't really realize is trauma. And we can fix or work on those things in little ways. It doesn't always have to be getting a therapist. There are lots of things that we can do ourselves, and our kids benefit from that directly as well. So we're we're there for life's most important lessons, and sex is one of them. So yeah, we want to pass on. Like I was also thinking, what do I want for my kids? Education, yeah, it's kind of important, but like the most crucial things in life, um, of course, a relationship with God, and then also actually sex is a big thing. Um, they were created through us having sex and, um, you know, having a healthy sexual relationship versus an unhealthy one can be a really big difference. And so, yeah, true parents, they have been really building up a new culture around sexuality. And that's really what I believe the culture that we can ideally pass on to our kids. And yeah, it, so I believe talking to our kids about it first is really important because, we're not only dealing with our family dynamic, but kids go to school, they play on the playground, and there's so much talk there too. And that is out of our control, and we have no idea what will be said. And that's why it's so important that as parents, we take a big step into this conversation. And yeah, that might be new for many of us. I don't know how the conversation was in each of our homes, but generally, I think it was a very, yeah, not so present conversation. I know it wasn't always recognized that it's the parents' role to teach about sexuality. Often it was expected in school or maybe workshops, even within our church. But it's actually so great if us parents can take on that role. I just made this meme it says here, we can't talk to our kids about sex, it's too awkward. And then the child, but isn't that how I got here? And so, we have a direct connection to our kids and their understanding of sexuality. And if we can just, yeah, start learning, even if it's uncomfortable, learning to talk about it, then yeah, then our kid is not alone in learning. And I just also want to talk about inviting this conversation in, this topic, versus leaving it out. And that's really being able to connect with my child versus disconnection. Because even, our children are first young and, won't be interested most likely. Okay, maybe some are interested. I mean, it's fascinating how human beings enter into this world and how babies grow. And that's normal. That's wonderful. Also, if some children are fascinated. Um, so yeah, but if we leave this conversation completely out of our family culture or um, have just really vague attempts, like I've heard of parents sliding a book on the shelf just for the child to find and read alone. Um, yeah, that's that's not a direct, interaction about this topic. And so it's disconnection, right? When this, when sexuality becomes eventually, at some point, it will become a big part of our world, because kids go through puberty and then eventually, um, hopefully a desire to start a family themselves. And so it does become a big part of their world. And if we can be there to just talk to them, talk with them about that, it is a huge support. And yeah, we can also help them to have a good understanding of sexuality, rather than learning on the playground or from school, even. Schools are also teaching lots of different things about sexuality, but also usually leaving out what we understand from true parents, how much it can really bring two people together and help. Yeah, we become like God, right? When a man and woman in a marriage relationship can share this kind of intimacy. So, yeah, one thing I just wanted to mention here, how did I grow up? So, feelings about sex as I grew up, and how do I hope for my kids to feel about it? That's just a sort of reflective question for each of us. Um, because, yeah, that's also what I was thinking. How did I grow up feeling about it? It was awkward. It was uncomfortable. Um, I kind of soaked in lots of first impressions from elementary school already, that it's weird and it's kind of shameful. So I never brought it up to my parents. And when my parents brought it up to me, um, it felt stiff, uncomfortable, and I already felt so embarrassed because I had so many concepts about it. And so that's how I grew up, but it doesn't have to be the way for that way for my kids. So I was thinking, how do I want them to feel? I'm not going to choose how they feel, but I can give them a much more, you know, more comfortable feelings if I can feel that way myself. If I don't feel awkward and uncomfortable, then it's again, like kids, they watch us so much and take in so much just by seeing how we feel about things. Um, yeah, and I'm not saying like you have to pretend to feel comfortable, but yeah, it's also okay to say, look, I'm learning how to speak about this for the first time. Just be honest and say it might be weird for me in the beginning, but I really want this conversation, um, yeah, for you to feel natural and comfortable to come to me about anything about sexuality. So, how do we do that? I just wanted to pass this on as some ideas on how to bring up sex regularly. Because sometimes people, they have a conversation or a breakthrough, but then they're like, how do I keep it going? And that's why I was just thinking of these things. So everyday media, there's media everywhere. Um, yeah, some of it's good, some of it's not so good, but you can always try to point to the good and learn from the bad. Movies, shows, posters, commercials, etc. And if you have already an open conversation, like what is sexuality? What does God really want? Then it's so much easier to talk about these things. Um, like, yeah, I think I've mentioned this example in a podcast once, but yeah, once my son, who he can read, and then he asked about this one poster that was advertising um, that it's people should basically get checked for sexually transmitted diseases. And so then he asked me, like, what is that? And so we had to have a conversation about that. And it brought up, okay, yeah, what is a healthy sexual relationship is between a committed marriage. Whereas when you don't keep that commitment, then, things can happen like sexually transmitted diseases. Um, and books are really great as well to read together. I don't mean sliding on the shelf and running away, but really to make it a together thing. And also talking about the body. I feel like this is a really great way when kids are really small to just talk about different parts of the body and eventually that bodies change and also the body differences, boys and girls are different. And also share your own experiences um, growing up or, yeah, understanding sexuality. And use tools like School of Love. There are videos on the website that you can watch with your kids, or also curriculum, and also the podcast that is for parents. It's not for kids, it's really for parents. Um, yeah, on many different topics related to this. And yeah, the main point is the togetherness. Am I showing my child that we're there for them in this learning process, or do my actions say they need to figure it out? Yeah. All right. So I'm almost through. This is just a review of what I just said. But yeah, these are the tools that I want to pass on. Regular family time, one-on-one quality time with no agenda. Be the example and be there to guide your child in sexuality and bring it up yourself. These are just some photos of my family. Yeah, here I did a half marathon, and um, yeah, it was just great to finally spend some time trying to get more fit. Um, Most of my motherhood, I was not, but after the fourth child, I really made a bit more effort. Yeah, I think my husband and I, we just were able to communicate more to each other that yeah, we want to support each other also in our hobbies and in our individual health, like sports journeys. I mean, of course, if we can do it together, it's great, but usually we have to trade off because we don't have so many babysitters close by. Yeah, and also a date with my daughter that I went on recently, or just fun with the family. And yeah, here I also, I usually, in the past, I would think like, yeah, playgrounds are great for kids. You go there and you can relax, which is great sometimes, but sometimes it's also really great to go there to play with them. Be a kid again and yeah, connection time. So yeah, that's my main points for today. And so yeah, now we're gonna have some time to do 5 minutes of homework. And yeah, what I thought you guys could do is schedule when you can spend some fun time with your child or as a family. Just put it in the calendar, even if it's just 5 minutes or even if it's just something that you think, that's not even like, it doesn't sound important, like doing a puzzle together, but like schedule it. We have so many apps now because the brain, I heard, is not meant to, keep track of time. We're meant to come up with ideas and, or just enjoy the moment. But like keeping track of how much time is going by, like right now, I really don't know if I spoke for 40 minutes or 20 minutes. But yeah, we have so many apps to help us with that. So please schedule. If also paper is fine if you don't have an app, when you can spend time with one of your children or as a family and think already about what you're going to do. And some homework also, not for these 5 minutes, but for after this webinar, pick a video to watch or a curriculum to do with your child from the School of Love website. That's the website there, schooloflove.org. So, yeah, thank you guys for listening and really wish you all the best. I hope there was something for you there, but yeah, I'm definitely open to stay in contact by email or WhatsApp or however to support you in your parenting journey. And yeah, all the best.
All right. Thank you, Amelia. Let's take those 5 minutes now to schedule some family time. All right. I hope you all had a moment, were able to, had a moment and were able to share or with each other and write down in your calendar when your next family time is going to be. We will now have some group discussions. So the questions which will be posted are, what is a favorite family tradition you have or would like to have? What did you find helpful in the talk? And what do you want to pass on most to your child? So please discuss these questions in your groups, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes.